something and then they will hide them, girl. They'll be like, they'll put a picture up there and they'll be like, did you feed that to your friend? Like, take me on vacation. Look at it. No, I can't.
Hello, everyone.
Hola, besitos.
And welcome to
Dale Pa'l Piso,
a podcast where we talk about todo. How's everyone today? How's your weekend?
Pretty good. So far.
Yeah, so far so good.
Unfortunately, it's about to be Monday. Again.
Girl.
Whoever the fuck decided 5 days working and 2 days off really doesn't deserve a lot.
They didn't have a life. That's what
obviously.
It was. That's exactly what it was. Like, damn, at least give me Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right. Like, how many other countries that, like, live better or happier and shit only work 4 days a week?
That's what I'm saying.
Let's take a hint, U.S.
Right?
Just saying. I know we elected that troll, but
get it together.
You know.
We can do better.
Come
on now. So, before we dig deep into this episode, February is a super busy month with so many different topics to talk about.
And the first one, of course, we have to go ahead and say Happy Black History Month.
Woo, woo.
To all of y'all, you know, we're going to go ahead and celebrate. As you've probably already seen, we share a fact a day to go ahead and celebrate all those contributions throughout history. So you can learn something every day if you come visit us. What do they got to do?
All you have to do is follow, subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook.
Hit that motherfucking like.
Let's do it.
Okay. So our second topic of awareness.
It is one that's super, super underaddressed. I think it's something that not a lot of people talk about. And that is domestic violence in teens.
Which is, spicy topic because a lot of people don't want to have that combo.
Ever.
However, I think it needs to be addressed, especially because you guys are looking at the low end. Michelle Pfeiffer. In Dangerous Minds. I work at a high school that is underprivileged, challenged, some of the naughtiest, most notorious kids. I love the most because all they really need is extra love. But, I see it a lot every day, so we wanted to bring awareness. We both have teens, so we're going to give you a few facts. We'll start there, and then we'll go from there.
And I think we have a couple of experiences ourselves.
Yeah, sadly,
unfortunately, we were
teen moms.
Those teens, we were teen moms, and
we jumped off the porch way too motherfucking early.
Way too early.
Saying, so we're going to go ahead and share.
Right? I wish somebody would have held me back a little bit.
Reel that shit back in, yeah.
Come on in.
Do those spot checks like I talked about last episode if you were paying attention. Okay.
No, for real, but we didn't have cell phones back then.
Yeah, but so now you have cell phones, iPads, school issued iPads and Chromebooks that they use VPNs on, shit like that.
Absolutely. I think one of the facts was that 1 in 3 people will be in a domestic and abusive relationship, and that's really wild to think about because that's not a lot of people. And to be honest, we're 2.
1 in 3. Yeah. And you get the privilege to share time with 2 of us.
2 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second fact that we had was females between the age of 16 and 24 are roughly 3 times. Okay. Listen up. 3 times more likely than the rest of the population to be abused by an intimate partner. That is the scary part to me.
It is.
Because when we talk about intimacy, what does that mean to you?
Personally, to me, I feel like, when you hear the word intimate, you right away go to sex.
Right.
So.
However, as you get older, what does it really mean?
It's more than that. It's way more than that. I think it's a lot of like intellectual. Obviously, it's physical, but it's a lot of intellectual. It's a lot of emotional. I think that's the one thing that I feel like our teens now are missing out on. Because when they do hear the word intimate,
right away that's who I spread it like a chicken wing for, but that's not what we talking about.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. So I feel like now because we were those teens though. Think about it.
Absolutely. Like as soon as how did you lock some shit down? How did you lock it down? Like if you weren't busting it wide open with the person, like, it wasn't locked down.
I can tell you I love you every day.
Okay. But until you cross that threshold, I mean, even working with kids now, I can see it.
Yeah.
From the moment where it's innocent and cute and like, okay, it's the HOCO or the promposals and the, will you date me in front of everybody or whatever? But then when it gets to the part of they actually cross that physical boundary, you can tell right away. It's more, and it's sad to say because I feel like that's society right now. Like it's the whole possessive, they don't trust each other. They have to look through each other's phones. Like, it's the vultures that we talk about that are around and like, oh, I saw her with such and such. Or, did you see how she was, clocking that tea at that game? Like,
exactly.
Like it turns into like something that is a lot more serious and more scary, where at those ages, are we really apt to make those decisions?
I don't think our minds are ever really like developed at that age to really know, like, this is what I want.
Imani told me, I'm sorry, let's cut you off. Imani told me, because this really triggered that memory, like, real quick. Imani told me that, she was, our guest on the last episode, if you ain't know. So she told me that your frontal lobe does not develop fully as a female until you are 25 years old.
Damn.
So
that's crazy. Right. So imagine these long-term relationships these kids are getting into at 13 and 14 years old. Because I'm sorry to say it, but there's plenty teens out here, 13, 14 already. I mean, super intimate.
I think that's one of our facts, if I'm not mistaken.
It is.
It's the next one. Violent behavior often begins between 6th and 12th grade. 72% of 13 and 14-year-olds are dating. So 13 and 14, with the fact that we just said, right? You guys can Google it. I'm a Google whore. I'm sorry. I Google everything. But even just to reinforce myself, like, hold up, I read this shit, but hold on, let me Google it one more time before it comes out of my mouth. So at 25 is when you stop developing. Like, physically, a lot of people don't start growing to like their last girls were like 18, around there. So let's say 18 to 25. 13 to 14-year-olds, 72% of them are dating.
Dating. That's the key word, dating.
And what does dating mean to them? Like, because when, for instance, I was in elementary schools too. Yeah. And doing the, holding hands, that was dating, God, right? Yeah. That was that cute shit, right? Hand. He touched my hand.
We're dating. That's my boyfriend.
Do you like me? Check box yes or check box no.
And a little fortune, little papers, remember?
Like, hold on. 1, 2,
Does he have
3,
a crush
4.
on me?
Yes.
Purple, P-U-R-P-L-E.
Or the other one where you would write down, give me five names of the boys you like, 5 places where you would live. Yes.
Oh my God, those are old school as fuck.
And you'd be like, hold up, my boyfriend is Tommy. Hold up, we've been together.
Tommy in a shack, and that's okay.
I've never had a boyfriend named Tommy, by the way. I don't even know where that shit came from.
And I've never lived in a shack. Okay. Just so we're clear.
Just so we know. But that is a really scary thought, because you have that age group right now. Right?
I have a 12, a 14, and a 16.
So you're right in the trenches, bro.
In the trenches. Like, because like the fact says, 6 to 12? I literally have a 6th, a 9th, and a 12th grader. And it's difficult because I kind of see their different dating styles, I guess. And for me as a mother. So let's go from shortest to tallest, per se. Like, I mean, like youngest to oldest. Okay. Like, what do you observe in each demographic? So for my little one, it's just mostly like text messages. Oh, I like you. Oh, I think you're cute. Your haircut is so cute. It's that cute shit. I love that. Yeah, So I'm like, okay, so that's like more innocent, so I don't really trip about that one.
And that's 6th grade.
That's 6th grade. My 9th grader, it's more of like, we should go to prom. I'm like, you're not even old enough for prom yet, dude. Right. I'm like, what are we talking about here? God. Right. And prom is like, man, you fucking mental. Yeah. Girl.
High school life. No, like, absolutely. Prom is like what everybody is waiting for. Like,
right. Oh my God, and you're going to go and then I feel like it's more of like them really trying to figure out, like, is this really like a thing? Yeah. But my son, his cutoff game is real quick.
But that's this generation.
Yeah. He don't play that.
Oh, you didn't get me the motherfucking new J's or whatever the fuck. Oh, we do.
Girl, he stopped talking to a girl because her hair, he was like, when I met her, she always had the curly hair. And then all of a sudden, she just said she hated her curly hair. And she started straightening that stuff. And she was like, I don't know what she looked like no more. Okay, but do we blame him? He was like, I don't even know her no more. I'm like, hold up.
Do we blame him, though? Because at the end of the day, at my grown ass, I'm 37, right? Don't introduce me into no shit you can't keep up. Like, dead ass. Right. Like, if you can't do it, don't try and surprise me with it, because then I'm going to expect that caliber of treatment every time. Yeah. Well, and I don't mean money. Like, right? You don't need to take me to an expensive restaurant every time. But if you're showing me an utmost respect, like it's a level of respect, we're gonna keep it there. Like, it doesn't matter You know, we're not going to regress.
Yeah. And he's always like, oh, I'm going to be that same dude. I'm like, yeah, because that's just how I raised you. Right. Same dude. Don't change for nobody. Don't change for nobody. Not please. Not even as a grown-ass adult. Don't change for nobody.
I mean, until you... Well, that troubles me sometimes. Okay, I know this is off on a tangent, but like, for real. Lord. That troubles me sometimes because, like, if you... We all have stuff, right? Yeah. And maybe we don't know we have that stuff until we really start caring about somebody, right? Okay. And then you do some introspective work and you're like, okay, like I am a little bitchy. Or, you know, I'm a little, you know, when I don't eat fast enough and I want, you know, the Snickers ain't gonna work, you know, like I'm like, fuck, I want something else. Real. Like, you know, those are the little things. So I feel like, okay, change the things that you are comfortable changing to improve you. Like, not just for the other person.
Yeah. I mean, so let me reel that back in. Let me take that back a little bit. Yeah. If you got to make some tweaks, by all means.
Absolutely.
Do all them tweaks, you know, fix all that stuff. But, like, I'm talking about, like, real deep into, like, you were an extrovert, now they want you in the house all the time. Or you were an introvert, now they want you to party all the time. You know, like, those are things that you shouldn't change for anybody because that's you. And that's how they met you.
So, yeah.
Like so, but like, okay, you pick your boogers and you eat them in front of me. Don't do that shit in front of me.
That's fucking disgusting. Do that on your own time. That's
do that in the bathroom.
Very unsanitary.
Exactly.
Because boogers, like, they prevent you from getting sick. That's what boogers are. So
you're eating a sickness type shit.
Don't do it. Like, it's disgusting.
I kid not. And I think the last fact that we had was teens who have been abused hesitate to seek help because they do not want to expose themselves. I think it's a big ass level of embarrassment.
Oh, absolutely.
Because when I was a teen, my best friend didn't really know half the shit that I went through. How am I going to tell my best friend at 17 years old, like, hey, I'm getting my ass whooped.
Like, what do I do about this?
Right? But I love him, and that's okay.
And then it's scary because sometimes we have the people in our lives where they will co-sign anything that comes out of your mouth, and that's dangerous too. Because, like, you think that person is really your friend, right? But there are these moments where you're like, like, no matter how much you love that person, if you really truly do love that person, it's that moment to be like, hey man, like, like, mira,
you're fucking up, bro.
This is not okay.
Get up out of that.
Yeah. Like,
and I did hear a fact too that I think it's nationally. Don't quote me, please.
Right.
Never quote Chuju, please. But what I heard was 1 in 11 girls and 1 in 14 boys actually are in. And, you know, because obviously this relationship, my bad. And this generation.
This relationship is
solid.
Amazing.
Solid.
This is not the
this can't break.
Talking about. Right.
But what I'm talking about is even boys are getting abused now too. And that's a stigma. Have you
caps, fucking shining lights.
Brights. Boys can be abused too.
Yes, and
listen to what we're saying.
And don't be afraid to tell somebody, get help. Like, that whole... I knew people growing up that, like, it was the guy who was the one getting hit on or, like, abused. Not too long ago in Racine, there was a kid that, like, it came out after he passed away or whatever, that he was, like, the girl was, like, he would show up to, like, I read the article or whatever, he would show up to, like, Christmas dinner and shit and, like, black eyes or, you know, stuff like that. And they would be like, oh, he plays sports, like, you know, lo tapaba. And it's like... Because of this thing. And then, you know, I guess they got a hold to his phone and like read messages and stuff between him and a person he trusted. And he was saying, like, I don't want to tell anybody. Nobody's going to respect me. Like, can you imagine living with that? Like, all the stigmas of being a man. You're not supposed to cry. Like, especially being Hispanic. Oh, girl,
yeah.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you ain't wrong.
Like, you need to be tough. Like, you can't cry. You need to...
You see a little boy crying and it's like, what are you crying for? You are a man. Get up, dust that shit off, and walk away. You know, it's been like that. And because I know a lot of my families, a lot of my cousins, they've always been like that. Like, if they, like, and I've seen my cousins bust their shit. Like
he got hurt.
Boom. And I'm like, no. Like, I would cry. Yeah. I'm crying for them.
Dead ass.
And the moment that one tear comes down, it's, Párate, you're a boy.
Shake it off.
Shake that shit off. Nah, ain't nobody gonna want you like that. Trust me, there's plenty of women out here who love sensitive men.
Okay.
Tell me how you feel.
Please be in touch with your sensitive side. Emotional EQ is sexy. It's needed. Absolutely. Okay.
Communication in men, beautiful.
Okay. Don't go in the lockdown. Come on. Like, use your words. Like I tell my students, use your words.
Right. Yeah. Don't go cry in the bathroom. Come cry to me. That's what I'm here for.
Exactly.
You know,
like,
so
if that's not what's happening, that's not your person. Find your tribe. Like, seriously.
Mm-hmm. And it's the red flags that we're missing out with these kids a lot, because from things and situations that I've seen and I've like not necessarily experienced, because my daughters never really came to me with anything like that, but it's more of like we're just playing around, or he's just I don't know, he called me fat because I was eating too much and he made me waste all my food. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think that a lot of teenagers nowadays don't distinguish the fact that domestic violence isn't just physical.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times, like even people who have experienced both say, like the emotional is just the same or even worse, because the physical, the black eye goes away, it heals. The bone that was broken, like mends, it heals. Like, what about all of the scars that like don't erase?
The mental scars.
And
those take a minute to go away. And that's a lot of therapy. It's crazy. Like, it's really crazy how things like that work out. I really don't think that it's just not worth it. And I feel like us as parents, and then just maybe me and you and everybody else out there, because I know 1 in 3.
1 in 3.
You know, we've been through it. And I feel like that's one of my biggest things that I always tell my kids. If you're getting your hands put on by someone who claims they love you, they don't love you. If you're getting yelled at, if you're getting cussed out, even if it's just like the stupidest shit, oh, you're stupid. No, they don't love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it could be because I just sent you a video the other day on Facebook with that cup that was broken, and there was a bunch of Band-Aids. Said, I'm sorry, and then when he poured the water, everything came out of it. Yeah, that's that emotional, that's that spiritual shit, and I feel like that's when addictions come in with kids. And that's when, like, suicidal thoughts come into kids. And because it's like, they don't know who to go to.
At all.
Ever.
And a lot of times, for instance, the students that I support right now, the first thing is I ask them, okay, do your parents know what's going on? No. 95% of them is no. Because, oh my God, no, my mom says that I have it good. Why? I better not complain. Like, well, she went through, you know, not to be a bitch, but she went through like 3 countries and walked through jungles and did this and that and whatever. She had to walk, remember, like with the bear on the back.
She had to climb a whole barbed wire fence.
Yeah. And it's like, why can't they be sad anyway? Like, yes, they may have food to eat and a comfy bed to sleep in and all these other things, but hey, the person that I fell in love with hits me. The person I fell in love with calls me fat if I eat an extra portion at lunch.
Or calls me a bitch.
Yes.
Just because I didn't do what he asked me to do. You know, and that's, you know, going back to our experiences, that is one of the most, like, crucial moments of my growing mind, because like you said, we don't develop until we're 25. I was in a relationship with this person from 17 to 21, and it was one of those things where I try to keep it locked up in the back of my mind, but I went through some shit.
And then don't fall in love for this motherfucker, and then have a baby and get really nailed down. Like, oh well, now not only do I love him, I have this beautiful baby who looks like both of us, and we made this in love, and oh my God, a perfect fix. Yeah, and everybody, and then you hide it. Because that's, to me, that was the biggest embarrassing portion. I didn't experience it until later, a little bit later in life. But it's that whole, I'm embarrassed. Especially for me. Mine isn't teen. I see that in my job and stuff. But like for me, like later in life, I'm like, Xenia, you should have known better.
Especially like, seeing the teens go through it. You've
grown as hell. Like, and you've had friends who did it, or, you know, who went through it, or who didn't want to talk about it, and this and that. Like, people look at you different. Like when you say, okay, well, where did that scratch come from? Or why were you late to work or whatever else? And you're like,
rough
you know,
day.
yeah,
Scratch myself on
and
something.
then the moment you do say something like, you know, this is the situation going on at home, it's like, oh,
yeah.
Then you don't get invited to the Christmas work parties or the, oh no, you know what she got going on now.
Yeah.
You know, so
or there's
it's
people
the
who don't
embarrassment.
know. Yeah. And there's people who don't know your situation and they're like, well, why don't you just leave?
Girl,
why is it so hard for you to leave?
That is and even whether you are teen, like telling us 72% of the kids who are dating now, whether you fall in that bracket or you're a little older, midlife like us, or you're a little older than that, like it is not okay to feel that way. No. Like that's not normal.
Mm-hmm. But it's also not normal for your support system to be the ones to tell you. Maybe, you need that every once in a while, but sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. Right. Like you said, even as teens, as midlife, as an adult.
Empower someone, though.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how you tell someone, like, hey, like, they tell you, they confide in you, right? Like, I come to you, Julie, me está pasando esto, y tú me dices, Xenia, pero, ¿por qué tú no te vas?
Yeah. Déjalo. Not really knowing what your situation is and why you haven't left.
And have we not learned about trauma bonds? Yeah. Have we not learned about, what's the, where you fall in love with your abuser?
Oh yeah, I don't know what that's called, but
I forgot what it's called, but the whatever it's called effect, where Stockholm syndrome. I'm sorry, Stockholm syndrome, where you fall in love with your abuser. Mm-hmm. Like it is an attachment where it's like the worse they treat you, the more you do, the more overcompensating that you do, and you just like it basically idealize this person.
And I got to do better. Because they're here for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really always like that. And that's the problem. And then, like you said, with going back to the teens thing with my kids' dad, it was like one of those things where I was like, well, he has anger issues and I knew that.
Yeah.
And I took
it on.
Yeah. I have to make sure he's good.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, with the kids, I had my daughter and I was like, she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I can't break
una combinación perfecta de los
because she's the most beautiful. I'm just going to talk about my daughter, but like, she's the most beautiful thing that's ever like
crossed your world.
Crossed my world. Like she's the mix. She's like the perfect mix of me and her dad. I hate her attitude sometimes because she acts just like her daddy.
She's in her teens also, remember, right?
But like looks wise and just when she wants to do things for her life, like I do see a good mix of me and her dad, but I went through some shit. And then on top of that, double whammy, I ended up fucking around having 2 kids with this man.
Right.
So now I'm like, I'm really stuck.
Lay it on thicker.
Yeah.
As if it wasn't thick enough.
And it's hard. It's hard when, like, I feel like it's hard with 1 kid, but when you have 2.
Oh, yeah. You ain't going nowhere.
Hell no. And then I had a boy and a girl. So it was like the perfect, right?
I remember one time I was told, it wasn't domestic, but still, abuse is mental, right? Yeah, so like absolutely. You said, right? It wasn't physical with my kid's dad, but it was like, how many times you gonna go through my phone and hurt your own feelings?
Oof, I've heard that one.
How many times you hurt your own feelings? And really, I mean, let me cheat in peace. You ain't going nowhere.
I've heard that one as an adult.
You ain't going nowhere. Who wants a woman with 2 kids and health issues and for real? Huh?
Let me show you.
Right?
Let me show you.
Let me show you. I got a line, motherfucker.
Let me show you my phone.
Right.
Oh.
How many I curve a day? I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just wondering.
Just okay. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and cool. But no, for real, that was my biggest thing. And I think with him, it was more of the physical aspect of it all. Because
but combine the 2, mommy.
Oh, that was bad. Imagine, oh my God, girl, yes. Imagine I went through it physically, and while he was physically doing it, he was emotionally
drumming it back in.
Too. Yeah, it was bad. And then the next day, it was just sorry. So it was just a Band-Aid over a broken cup.
Every time.
Till it shattered. And it was just like, I couldn't do this.
But then I feel like the worst part after that is even in certain moments, and you correct it, right? Yeah. But in certain moments, you're like, what did I do? Like, why? Why?
Yeah. Maybe I was in his way when he walked in. Mm-hmm. Maybe I mugged him and didn't even think about it because I have a resting bitch face.
Yeah. Or he had a hard day. I shouldn't have asked him to give me some money. Or I shouldn't have asked him to.
Girl, a hard day doing what? Yeah.
You know, slanging, doing whatever.
Yeah, slanging, I guess. Because, no, it was really tough. Yeah, it was really tough. And then I got into like a comfortable relationship with my ex-husband. And it was more of like, it was too calm for me. And I feel like that was the friction that I had with him, was the fact that I was like, this is safe.
You were used to chaos. And he wasn't chaos.
Like, this is super safe.
Mm-hmm.
And
ahora te aborrecía. Ahora,
yeah, no, this is boring.
Yeah.
Like, where's the thing, and then, but that goes back to the teens, where it's something that you get used to. And I feel like I don't know. I don't even know what else to say, because it comes just like to that point where it's just kind of like, oh, well, I got used to that growing up, because like I said, that was 17 to 21. And yeah, it may have been 4 years, but it felt like a fucking eternity.
4 years, imagínate. 60 seconds in a fucking fight is an eternity. How long you think for 4 years?
In a fucking fight every day. Especially and then I don't know if you realize, when it comes to teens and it comes to the DV situation, boyfriends and girlfriends, because like I said, boys can get abused too.
Yes.
They tend to isolate.
Yes.
Bad.
Yes.
All of a sudden they have like this big ass friend group, and it's like Juan was friends with Pedrito, Luis, whoever had a big ass friend group, but as soon as he got with Antoinette, it was just him and Antoinette.
Yep.
But I feel like that's some type of source of control.
Of course. Isolation, because the people, typically your closest friend group, people who have been through these trenches with your different seasons in life and things like that, they are going to want to be like, hey, have an intervention, low key, right? Or maybe even high key, right? Hey, like, since you started dating old girl, like, bro, we don't see you anymore. Like, you sad as hell. Like, you angry. You come to school upset. Like,
that whole thing, what happened to bros before hoes?
Girl.
But you know what? Sometimes, I don't know. Pussy just be pussy. My bad, but it be like that. Especially when you're like a teen.
Like, they're not used to it. Right. And then there's a girl who's actually,
into me like that.
Right.
And putting out, yeah.
Putting out, shit. Okay. We locking that in. Like they say, we locked in, but are you really? Was she alone? What's she doing?
Right.
And then those nights where she's supposedly studying or whatever.
I'm studying at Jose's house.
Yeah, right. You mean Josie? It ain't Jose. What you mean? Josie?
Like, okay, cool.
A big problem that I have where I work, which will remain nameless at this point. You'll find out, I'm sure. Google tells everybody everything. However, I don't only have the problem, right? I have coworkers that work in other schools, or, you see it on Facebook or wherever else. I feel like, due to the fact that hablo español, I service both English and, monolingual and ELL students. And something that I notice a lot is that I have 18-year-old seniors liking 14-year-old freshmen. And, people are like, well, 4 years, or they're in the same school and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. That does not sit well with me. You're 18. You got facial hair. Like, some of these boys look like grown-ass men. Like, and you're dating my 14-year-old who is just an 8th grader who, like, what?
Who probably still looks like a baby. Probably hasn't even developed, and it's that to me is,
and not only is it like, to me, I'm sorry, sickening, the fuck, like, I also don't think that they understand that it's illegal in the United States. Like, in the countries that they come from, I have students from all over, but let's name like a few Spanish-speaking countries: Colombia, Ecuador, Honduras, Argentina, tengo Venezuela, Puerto Rico, México, un poquito de todo, ¿sabes? Pero,
no mezcla.
It's a party. El sazón. Pero, like, I have them from all over, but that is something that I see a lot. And then, I'm sorry, but a mí me da bochorno ajeno. Like, a veces, like, where I'm like, I have to interpret, because I'm one of the only Spanish-speaking people at my job. And I have to come interpret between, like, the administrators or people, like, who deal with, like, the behavior, right? Like, the the consequences part and the parents or like, you know, other students, mediations, all kinds of stuff. But I'm just kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they're American and they're looking at me like, this how your people get down. You know what I mean? Like, it just feels that way, like that scrutiny, that side eye, that like, but what people understand, it's cultural, right? Like in some of the places where they come from, it is customary for like that to happen, like for it to be arranged kind of already, you know, like, pues papo tiene una hija y esto que lo otro, ¿sabes? And even if they're like a few years apart, right? Ya cuando ella tenga de edad, los casan o los, ¿sabes? And then that's it. It's an arrangement already you know, talked about. But here in the U.S., that'll get you clackety clacked. Like, so I don't.
In the slammer.
Yeah, for real. And they look at me sideways, and I'm just kind of like,
you can't do that here, homie.
You can't do that. Like at the basketball games.
You can't do that.
Like, I don't know. It's a terrible feeling. Like, I know. Okay. So I have a few of them that I call them collectively the creep squad because they all do it. They're all freaking grown. And the girls that you see them with are all babies. Like, and I can't help from a standpoint of I've gone to therapy. I love to read. I'm a nerd, right? So I do all this stuff. And I love psychology and, you know, I'm like, I can't help but to see that that's like a manipulation tactic. Like you are choosing someone younger because they're more vulnerable.
They're more open-minded because they don't know what's going on.
They have less coping skills. A lot of times their parents have them more sheltered than where you're at in life, right? So they don't know as much. And then some of them come from homes where they don't get any attention.
That's that mommy and daddy issues, you know? And that, because I've seen that. And even us growing up. Because I remember when I was 15, 16 years old, I couldn't walk down the street on Greenfield. So I was like, hey, mama. Hey, mama. Hola, mami. Hey, what's up? ¿Qué es lo que hay? And I'm like, dude, motherfucker, you're like old enough to be my fucking grandpa.
Girl, I mean, like, I remember distinctly several times my dad ready to beat somebody's ass because they were trying to talk to me.
Yeah.
And I was a kid, 13, 14 years old. Yeah. It's scary.
So just imagine. It's tough. I don't know, like, what advice would you think you would give yourself? What you know now.
Right, like if I met me.
If you met
if I could go back.
If you
like,
could meet
by, like the Flash or whatever, right?
You,
yeah. You're worthy, mommy. That's what I would tell myself. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Really?
Like that. I love that. You're worthy, Xenia. Like, you don't have to like do anything extra or like pay how you weigh or anything.
Yeah.
Just kidding. or anything in the mix, but like the person who is right or even people, right? Like who are right for you are going to love you for you just being you.
I agree.
Yeah. Like
I think, with me it would be
how about you?
Yeah. A lot. I think it would be a lot. And I think my biggest one would be just don't avoid the red flags. Stop making excuses. Julissa, like 17-year-old Julissa, like if I can go back.
Yes, that's the one. Right? Stop making excuses. This is not a carnival.
Girl.
Those red flags are not a fucking carnival.
I want to wave them.
Right. Debí tirar una foto. No, vete pa'l carajo. Get the fuck out of there. Like,
I would literally hold her hand and be like, beba.
Mi amor.
Por Dios.
Por favor.
Si me quieres, si me amas. Please. I think it was just avoiding the red flags. Because I feel like as an adult, I brought that with me as an adult. And I avoided so many red flags. I'm talking about whether it was cheating, whether it was lying, whether it was me showing them concrete proof. Like, I caught you, motherfucker. Like, come on. And it was still, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Or they would apologize and be like, well, why did you go through my phone in the first place?
And make you feel bad. Turn it on around on you.
Oh, yeah. Recently as fuck.
Like how I told you, that's one thing I will say from my teen years, that my ex, he was like, I caught, like, he was taking a shower and I went in his drawer because I was looking for something. He had told me to get like a snack or something because I was pregnant. And I was like, ooh, he has Twinkies or whatever the fuck, right? Like,
nom, nom, nom.
Right. Bien pendeja. And I'm like, ooh, he's going to have them in his drawer, right? Because like as teens, we hide food, right? Like from the rest of the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I got a candy drawer in the fuck. And I'm not even
a grown ass woman.
Right? Just saying, but that's where it starts, right? Like, so I'm like, okay, I go in there. There's a letter from a chick, like a Valentine's Day letter. And she's like, ooh, I love you, some shit. Signed, we'll rename nameless. And I'm like, what the fuck? And yo empiezo a tirar cosas. And I get up and I'm like, I'm fucking out. Like, I didn't have a car or anything. Like, I didn't get my license late, right? In life. So I left walking. Yo en cinta y caminando por la calle. Like, and I'm getting ready to dial my parents. And here he comes, snatch me up. No, where you going? What's going on? And I'm like, who the fuck is such and such, right?
Yeah.
I found the fucking thing, like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, you didn't. Come back to the house. Julie, I went back to the motherfucking house and I tore that motherfucker up. I'm talking about, I went through the trash, through the drawer where it was at, under his bed, in the bathroom. Like, I dumped out the trash in the bathroom. Yo estaba loca. No lo encontré.
Girl, he probably either ate that shit or flushed that shit.
That's what Manny said. He ate that shit. Like, dead ass. I'm like, se lo comió, man. And she's
that
like,
was his snack.
She was like, had to be, you know, Papi slick. And I'm like,
that was his snack right there.
Shit, I guess so. Like, because I'm like, but that's what I mean. Like, now we know terms like gaslighting and some of that other shit. But like back then, like you were
they
like,
didn't have words for those things.
Like, I really afterwards was like, a few days later, I was like, did I see what I saw?
Yeah.
Like, that's how deep in those trenches you get with these people. You're like, no, I didn't see that shit. Like, you know, I was tweaking. Yeah. But
because I've gotten into the text messages and then I'm like, I know what I saw. And then they're like, well, take my phone. And all of a sudden it's gone.
It's gone.
And like 2 days later, I'm like, maybe I'm just tripping.
Oh, girl, I got smart though. But
screenshots.
But later on in the relationship, screenshots, and I would send that shit to myself. No, mija. I would send it from his phone to my fucking phone. And I'm like, oh, see. And then I delete it so that he thought he wasn't caught. And I would be like, oh. And he'd be like, no, come check my phone. I'm like, oh, come on, let's check it. And then he'll open it and it would be gone. I'd be like, oh, but it's right here. Ooh. Sick as fuck.
Caught up.
Yo, I got caught up.
What's that one white dude's name that comes in on Cheaters?
Oh, I don't know his name.
Woo! Fuck him up.
Hit him with that gut punch because that's what it was.
No, for real. Yeah. And it wasn't a thing back in the days. Because now when I go back and think about it as a teenager, I was gaslit like a motherfucker. But there wasn't a word for that.
You'd be like, no. Like, you'd be like, oh, you did this to me. Nah, girl. You just sabotaging what we got.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Me.
You're just hating.
Me.
Yeah.
I'm sabotaging what we...
Oh, and then like the biggest one for literally almost all my relationships was, why can't I have friends? You don't allow me to do anything. If you let me go out and you let me do my thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but that doesn't involve nothing else.
But do we fuck our friends? I'm just wondering. Because, I mean, this is what I'm saying.
In this generation, I think we do.
Yeah. But like, I guess in that generation too. Because, I mean, why can't I have friends? Because we don't smash our friends. You see how that works?
There should be boundaries. Because, you know, that's what it is.
But then let you step out of the house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, there must be plenty of motherfuckers looking at you, you know, or people in your DM, and
man.
you know, and you're like, I'm not you. Like, once again, we find out that's what projection. You are a piece of shit. And you're projecting it onto me.
Exactly. Yeah, because that was the biggest thing. He would let me go out. My kids' dad, but it was like if I was out for maybe 2 seconds too late.
Yeah, girl.
It was like who was holding you up?
Yeah.
You should have been in this door 59 seconds ago.
Do you not know lo que una mujer decente a qué hora viene?
Yeah. And don't let me go maked up. Like I wasn't really allowed to wear makeup when I was with him. Because it was one of those things where it was like, you're beautiful without it. And I'm like, no. It's because you know the motherfuckers I could pull. With it. With or without.
I can pull without, Bookie, and then let me throw a little glam? Oh, you really fucked up.
Yeah. See, now it went from this, my range went from this to this.
Right. You know? And now you're
real angry. Yeah, I wasn't allowed to wear makeup too much with him. Because it was just one of those things of, what are you going out for? Why do you look like that? Why are you looking like that? I'm like, motherfucker, because everybody else is out here. I'm like, you got me out here looking like Raggedy Ann.
Okay.
The fuck? Like I want to look good too.
And then my thing is really low key. No, fuck high key. Like if you cannot keep me like this, like that means I'm settling for you. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like if I am all dressed up and you doing what you're supposed to be doing, like there's no competition because we locked in. Yeah. Like, but at the end of the day, like if you're not doing what you're doing, that's what makes you insecure. You know, not doing what you're supposed to be doing. That's what makes you insecure.
Insecure as fuck.
Because you don't have it locked down.
Mm-hmm. And I want somebody to gas me the fuck up. I want to be able to look like this.
Okay.
Hold up. To look like this. Just and kind of just be like, and have them be like, oh yeah, that's my girl.
Exactly.
You know? Like, don't get mad, especially if I don't go out with you. It doesn't mean I'm out here fucking around. And that's where insecurity comes in, though. Shouldn't
you be geeked as fuck? Like, that's who the fuck beautiful. I get to take home.
Do you see this? Yeah. This is who the fuck you going home with. Yeah.
Exactly. Instead of, like, that's gonna, if nothing, that's gonna push me further away.
Mm-hmm. And I think us as Puerto Rican women, we just naturally flirtatious.
Absolutely.
I flirt with everybody.
Esa la labia.
Girl, you see this tablet? I'll flirt with it. Just saying, hey girl, how you doing? But you know, and I think that was one of my biggest things in almost every relationship that I was in. You're too much of a flirt. And if you flirt, you're cheating. And I'm like, no, I literally like unconsciously flirt.
I mean, but it's, to me, once again, it's boundaries. There's lines, right? Like you being kind of like coqueta or like, haha, it's one thing, but then like, you know, when you start touching sexual subjects or, you know, inappropriate shit, story. That's something else. But if it's not that.
But, you know, us, because, you know, we're mature women.
Right.
We know those boundaries.
Of course. Whereas
the relationship we get into don't know those boundaries.
No, and they cross them.
All the time.
And
but
then,
whose fault is that? Ours. Because we don't what? Show them attention, show them love.
Oh.
Show them, I mean, that's like the whole point, you know.
Boo.
You know, and I feel like another thing that was dismissed a lot was going back to the last episode, mental health. Because I could never tell my baby daddy I was depressed.
No.
Girl.
Like, just get up.
Yeah.
Like, why are you sad?
You're being so fucking lazy. Oh, and you're depressed with you with me? What, you trying to go find somebody else to fuck?
Girl, don't start
like,
that.
No.
Oh, my God.
It's not the point. Motherfucker, you making me sad. I don't got time to have sex with you.
Okay, much less the next motherfucker. Like, what? I'm sad.
Type shit.
Like,
love me. I'm sad. And that was a lot of my relationships. I couldn't be depressed. Or it was that competition of depression. I'm sad. Like, if you're my partner and you were to tell me I'm sad, and then I fuck around and sit here and be like, but you're not as sad as me.
The fucking comparison.
Oh, yeah.
Julie.
Or, I'm come home from work and I had a long day at work. Oh, but your job, you just sit down all day on your computer.
Baby. And I have to actually do work.
Like,
we'll see.
Computer job is still draining.
Extremely. Mentally, emotionally.
That was a lot of the things that was being dismissed. And I think that that's one thing that we did kind of dismiss as teens. And that's why we still dismiss that shit as adults. And I think my biggest advice to the teens now, whether it's my daughter, your daughters, my sisters, anybody, like, look out for those red flags. Don't ever sit here and make excuses for red flags, because red flags are red flags for reasons.
Oh, absolutely.
Red flags for reasons. So
stop making excuses. Like, stop, trying to rationalize their behavior. If they said it, they meant that shit. If they did it, they meant that shit. Se lo gozaron lo más seguro. So don't excuse it.
Because it's like that one phrase. If they wanted to, they would.
Deadass.
And if they didn't want to treat you that way, they wouldn't.
Hello.
Please, they would not.
Seek help. Tell your parents. If your parent doesn't, if you don't feel like you can go to them, get a trusted adult, whether it's at school, in your neighborhood. Somebody out there will help you. Please.
Absolutely.
Because you don't deserve that. Everybody deserves to be safe, and you are worth it at the end.
And you are loved, you are seen, you are respected. Because I feel like that's what a lot of kids don't realize. At the end of the day, you are loved, you're seen, you're respected. And we love y'all. You're a little besititos. Besititos.
So at the end of the day, ¿qué pasa?
Si quieres bailar, dale pa'l piso.
We love you guys. See you next time.